We're going to see how this goes. Um, I am running the latest version of OBS and doing everything from the OBS console, which is new to me. See, see, it wants it wanted to set up 10K or 10 meg upload, 10 meg, and now it's saying there's overloads. Well, yeah, no shit. It's 10 meg. What do you expect? And the audio probably sounds a little weird, and that's because I'm using a wireless headset microphone because my setup at home is a little weird, and I don't have anything that I used to have. All my audio gear, all my video gear, all of that stuff is gone. I sold it all. All my podcasting gear I sold. It was all outdated anyway, so it's not like I was going to be getting any more use out of it. Uh, but I don't really have a room or a setup anymore to do streams because, well, there's just no place in my new house to do it. As far as this goes, this is sort of a test because right now, well, let me just explain. Last year, I thought, well, 2020 sucked pretty hard with all the lockdowns and the COVID pandemic and all that. It's like, so 2021, that we'll see that diminish. Things are looking up. Brave, bold new year for everyone. And then we come to find out that 2021 really was a 2020 all over again, just not as harsh. And one of the things that ended up happening was the supply chain issues started to rear their ugly head, namely the uh, microchip shortage, and that affected as people may well know, I'm sure many do, the GPU market. And the availability of GPU went to shit, and the market rate of available GPUs, shot through the roof. Sometimes 150% markup. This was right around the time when I built a brand new PC for home use. And I was like, fuck. Because now I'm sitting here with a PC that I built pretty much just for gaming at home. And I was like, fuck, now I can't get a GPU. I have one in there in this computer now. It's an NVIDIA GT 710. It's like the just the most basic utilitarian GPU you could imagine. So that's what I'm working with now, and believe me, it sucks. I can't do anything at home. I wanted to do something creative with this stream and have some stuff going on, maybe play a game in the background. But it can't even handle that. And I'm not talking about like a crazy modern game or anything. It's like the easiest of easy like processing games, like a 8-bit looking game, really low res, not a whole lot to it, 2D, the whole nine, and it cannot run it. It cannot run that and stream simultaneously. That's how lackluster this GPU is. So I've been dealing with this for uh, pretty much the entirety of 2022, which I know it's like the end of February, so that's really only 2 months. But it is a drastic shift from what I'm used to because all of 2021 I was almost pretty much predominantly. So I had my main editing station at my home, and that was that's what I've come to expect from a computer. Now, granted, it was top tier 3 years ago, i9 9900K, RTX 2080 Ti, 64 gigs of RAM. It was pretty well decked out. M.2, NVMe, 2 gig RAID setup on the motherboard. Blisteringly fast. Blisteringly fast. Hell, it even has a 10 gig Ethernet card for sharing, like literally working on video projects across the network. I mean, it's decked out to the nines. It is an incredible. It was an incredible computer, but now, and I was using that all last year, so I got used to just having that around. But I had to take that back into the office when I started, going back into the office and starting 2020 or 2022. So now I'm stuck with this thing, and I go online, and I've been checking for months now, ever since I got this computer back up and running. Because I did have an issue with AIO that I had on it that failed, or maybe I just didn't have it set up right. I had the radiator in the back instead of on the top, and it may not have been circulating fluid well enough. I don't know. It was also just a one fan radiator, kind of cheapo AIO, so it may have been inadequate, but all I know is it wasn't really working and the CPU was overheating, so I just threw the fan on that came with the CPU, and it's been running ever since. But it's literally it's a Ryzen 5 3600 and a GT 710, 16 gigs of RAM, mini ITX motherboard, bare bones. It was literally just supposed to be for gaming, and now I'm regretting everything every purchase. I'm regretting everything that I spent because I literally cannot get this fucking thing to play anything. And to stream, this is what I can stream: a still image and my voice. Hello, Psycho. How's it going? Yeah, long time no see. I streamed last week, and I figured, screw it. I'm at home. Today's President's Day, and I have it off, so I'm going to uh, make a mockery of myself and try to stream from my potato of a home computer. And I was just explaining the whole GPU shortage and how it's affected me because it sort of hit right when I was building this computer, and I pretty much refused to pay 150% markup on a GPU. And the one I've been looking at is the RTX 3060 Ti, which just so happens to be the most popular GPU that everybody wants. So that's the one I want, and that's the one that I'm going to have to pay like $1,000 to get if I want it now. And I'm just like, no. Because I know like the way it usually works out is I will buy it, and then literally 2 weeks later, I'm like, good news, everybody, the prices of GPUs dropped, and availability is through the roof, and now we can start to see closer to MSRP prices. Like, and I'm the one who got shafted paying $1,000 for a $400 graphics card. Like, fuck that. Hello, Anne Frankenberry. Your voice is I'd what? Oh, effed. Is that effed? Yeah. You have to forgive me. I have old man eyes, and I'm looking across the room at a giant TV monitor. Um, yeah, this is a wireless headset microphone, uh, like a wireless gaming headset. It's what I bought. Oh, it's garbled and robot-y? Jesus Christ. Well, I don't know what to do about that outside of maybe. Let me look. I don't know. I don't think there's much I can do to change. I was kind of wondering about this. Let me try this. Now, just so you know, this might mess everything up. But let me know if this changes things, if it's better. I'm basically cutting my stream. I'm cutting my stream in half. because it's literally just a picture. I don't need 10 megs upload for a goddamn picture in my voice. Hell, I don't even need 5 megs. Yeah, I use earbuds via Bluetooth. Well, the problem is I needed a microphone, and I didn't. All my older setups were very, very old school. It was all just microphones with XLR cables running into USB mixers. And in my current setup at home, that's not really feasible because I'm in my kitchen. That's why. And it just doesn't work. So I needed something wireless, and this was the best option that I could come up with. And yeah, I know the sound is awful. It makes me sound like I have a cold, and it's really nasally sounding. But this is the best that I can do here. I don't know. If I do this more, maybe I'll pick it up. I sound much better. Well, then maybe it must have been that. It must have been their recommendation of the bitrate. So both my Raycons and my DeWalt earbuds have a microphone. Oh, really? Hmm. Yeah, but what's the quality of those microphones? It can't be much better than this. This is like $130 fucking HyperX gaming headset. It's I paid that much assuming that it was going to be decent quality, and boy was I wrong. This is actually my first time using it. I've had this headset for probably 4 or 5 months now, and this is the first time I'm firing them up. I was like, and that could also be why I'm doing this stream because I'm just sitting there all the time looking at this headset microphone just sitting on top of my computer, thinking, why in the hell did I buy that? I didn't know DeWalt made earbuds until my boss gave them to me. Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, man, do they use the DeWalt batteries? Because I'd laugh. You'd have this gigantic honking battery with a tiny little cable running into one of your ears. Pinoid hasn't complained about my audio quality, just the shit that I say. Well, I mean, as long as it's not garbled, it should be fine. But it's just this microphone's just sort of. I mean, by comparison to what I've used in the past, this is very much a departure from the typical audio quality. But anyway, it's it's basically subset. It's a secondary issue to the graphics and processing issue that I really need to overcome because I really hate just having a single static image as a background. But that's all I can do from here. And it also sucks that I can't play half the games that I have on my Steam account at home. You know, there's games that just sit here and I literally can't even boot them up because it's like, what am I going to do? Play them in slow motion? Assuming they'll even play. I could play Subnautica with all of the settings turned down as low as they can possibly go, and it still plays like it's in slow motion. But that's about the best I'm going to get out of GT 710. Main PC is still using two GTX 980s. I didn't. Most people yeah, that's back in the old SLI days. I never did that. I always thought about it, and I had a, what did I have? 5827 something, some i7 processor that had that capability of utilizing two bridged together GPUs, and I actually had a GTX 980. in my old computer, but I ended up selling that to my employer to use in some system that they were wanting me to put together. I'm like, well, I've got a system that'll handle it, but that leaves me without a computer. And in retrospect, I kind of fucking screwed the pooch because I only sold that computer for $800. And I'm like, I thought I was getting a deal, but holy shit, I ended up getting screwed because right now I could probably turn around and sell that GTX 980 for probably $400. I mean, I don't know. I'm happy I bought my laptop when I did. The markup is insane. Yeah, yeah, it is. I was actually thinking about getting a 3080 Ti just to offset the markup because I was finding them for around 1700, and considering the MSRP on those was like 1,000, I'm like, that's still not 150%. I mean, yeah, I'm paying more, but it's still a better deal. I feel better, about myself, not paying that much of a markup to scalpers. 5680. I think that's what I either had a 5680 or 5780 or something like that. But that was the biggest. That was supposed to be the best at the time, and it was set up for. God, what was that chipset? It was a chipset that was set up, basically designed for the X series of the Extreme series of CPUs, and more akin to uh, what were they? What's Intel's fucking business line? I keep forgetting. Oh man, the ones that are used in servers and man, I cannot for the life of me remember. But regardless, they still make them to this day. But that was like the one crossover of that chipset. Is like you could use the consumer level i7s, or you could use the more professional level CPUs in that motherboard. So I thought that's pretty cool because I can start out with this CPU, and then if I get a little bit of cash and I really want to update, I can get one of Xeon. That's what it is. I can get one of those a really nice Xeon processor. I throw that in and really work it with that because the motherboard also you could throw like 256 gigs of RAM into it. It was a pretty nice motherboard, but then everything went south. Like I was kind of basing a lot of things off of that when I built my computer at work, and I was shocked when I bought the i9, the 9900K, and I was shocked by it because of how few PCI lanes it had. It literally the newer Intel processors are just literally set up to only have enough available physical PCI lanes for one GPU and maybe a little bit extra. So they really just said, screw multiple GPUs. We're not even going to support that shit anymore. And for doing the kind of video work that I do, it's like I need as much video RAM and kind of GPU processing power as I can get, and I feel like I'm handicapped in that regard. But I don't know. It's sort of a weird time in America right now. Like at any other given time, I'd just be like, oh, screw it. The 30 series came out, the 40 series GPUs are coming out. 90 Ti was announced, and although it hasn't really hit, that's supposed to be like a insanely powerful processor. I could just go to my employer and say, yeah, I need an upgraded GPU. And that would literally double my VRAM right there. But yeah, COVID's kind of killed the market, and we're all just kind of in damage control, sort of trying to slide by, as long as we can before having to make some critical changes because businesses do not want to spend money on advertising. They are changing paradigms and whatnot, but that accounts for a little bit of it. But COVID accounts for a lot as well, and that sucks. But that's a whole other issue. My main concern is this GPU crap, and how much I just really wanted to get a fucking 3060 Ti. Asus 100X Deluxe with 64 gigs of RAM. The I don't even know what I'm running. I think I'm running an ASRock, some mini ITX board. It literally only has 2 slots for RAM. Everything's really, really tight. It's got one PCI slot, 16-time PCI slot. And because I was trying to build the really, really, really small computer, which I didn't end up succeeding at because all the cases I was looking at, I couldn't find anything that would fit everything I was trying to put at you know, in that small of a size. So now I've kind of got this mid tower. It's smaller than my older towers, but I thought, it'll be fine. It's lighter weight, and it's not bad. It's a little. It's the fans are noisy. Of course, I'm an insane person when it comes to stuff like that because I'm the computer I built for myself at work is the quietest computer on the face of the planet. Like all the case fans I replaced with Noctua, the CPU fans are Noctua. Like I everything is literally just as quiet as it could possibly be. The whole case itself is like forged glass. Um, yeah, you could sit right next, and I do. You could sit right next to that computer and not even hear it. I hear my external drive spinning up and running more than I hear the actual computer. But I became obsessed with that during that period. I'm like, I can't stand hearing fan noise. But I've gotten used to it now because the CPU fan that came with my Ryzen 5 is loud as shit. So I just and it's across the room. Ray tracing is just a gimmick, yeah, it is. And I'm not even really interested in the ray tracing aspects of it. I need something with a lot of CUDA cores for graphics work and video RAM. Video RAM CUDA cores, that's actually what I need. And going on going on Puget Systems website because I kind of defer to them on studies on what GPUs and CPUs work best for certain editing editing packages or editing softwares. Uh, that sort of guides my purchasing decisions. Because I was looking into an AMD Radeon 6900X, and apparently, even though those kind of keep up with the 3080 on the NVIDIA front, or possibly even surpass them for gaming, they're according to Puget Systems, they're terrible for for editing and working with video and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm glad I checked that out because I was seriously thinking about dropping money on that. But boy, because I that's what I have to split my interest between. I mean, obviously, if I'm going to pay that much, is what I mean. Like, I'm not. If I'm going to spend over $1,000 on a GPU, it's got to serve both purposes at that point. It can't just be for gaming. And that's why I was so excited about the 3060 Ti because when it was $400, or even if it was $100 over MSRP, that's still a damn good deal for the processing power of that GPU. But will we ever see that price again? I don't know. Probably not. And so I wait. And I said last summer, I was like, well, it looks like I'm not going to be buying a GPU until next summer, and that could